Mr. Camps, I do need to find out what it is that you do for farmers that you're able to answer for them.
I'm
Okay.
50% owner.
That certainly works. All right, so I don't get too much information here before we start, but the information I have on this is just from the affidavit and claim, and so it might be faster for me to start with Mr. Camps. Mr. Camps, do you feel like that the Farmers Disposal, there's any money here owed to the Leonards, and if so, how much?
I don't think so. Not from me. No, I don't think so.
Okay, then I'm going to start with the Leonards. Leonards, so you're talking about your residence, right? And that a truck from Farmers Disposal, you said, came and did some damage, took out a pole and a power line connected to a barn and did a certain amount of damage. How do you know it was Farmers Disposal truck?
Well, my mom witnessed it and watched it happen.
Okay.
And
was there any conversation
he called me and told me that he got into the wire.
And who's he? Mr.
Kyle.
Okay. Did anyone talk? Was there any talk to the driver right then and there when it happened, or you talked to the company after the fact?
He left.
No, Kyle called my husband right after it happened and let him know that it happened.
But he didn't stick around. He left.
He didn't stick around. He left. But at that time, my mother-in-law had called me because of the fact that the line from the house was ripped off their house and was laying on the ground. So there was a live wire from the house all the way to the barn. Yeah, so we had to call the power company, immediately called them, and they were out in 15 minutes.
Let me ask you a couple questions. When you said Mr. Camp said that, oh, we're going to take care of that, what was the form of that conversation? Over the phone, a text, live conversation?
Several, yes. Actually, I spoke to him. He had, the first time I spoke to him, he told me to go through a buddy of his, which owns an electrical company, and give them a call and get things set up. So we called Rob Miller and had him and spoke with him. Rob requested that we send, Rob requested for me that he doesn't get like electrical pole, because they actually had like a telephone pole in the middle of their yard that went from the house, then a line to the pole, which had a mercury light on it, and then went across the driveway to their barn.
And were you guys was there like that Farmers Disposal was there in the first place? Was that something for you guys? Was that some sort of contractual thing you guys had with them?
Yeah, he does a weekly pickup there.
Weekly pickup. Okay.
Yeah.
And then how did you get to the number 1860?
What's that? I'm sorry.
How did we get to the number 1860?
Okay, so when I spoke with Rob, he said he didn't get telephone poles. So I called Consumers Energy, and they found Beist Electric that would give us a pole. And when I spoke with Beist Electric, which was Chad Weber, he told me that they wouldn't do the electrical work because they would going to be working with Rob Miller. And in that aspect, they gave one estimate of the pole amount, which was $650, and then to do the aug to put the pole in the ground was going to be an additional $650. And then Rob Miller had quoted us saying it was between $500 to $700 for him to put in the pole. I spoke with Kyle, and he said,
hold on.
Sorry.
To put in the pole or to put in the electric after the pole gets in?
Put in the electric.
Rob will do
That's what you mean.
wire.
So what you're saying is it was $650 to get the pole, $600 to install the pole, and then somewhere between $500 and $700 to put the electrical back up to snuff.
Correct. Yes.
That's where the number comes from.
Yeah.
All right. So Mr. Camps, why is it that you wouldn't owe the Leonards any money?
I had been there probably 35 times already to empty that dumpster. And the same routine every week. And I never hooked that wire before. Same truck, same everything. And for some reason, I don't know why. The wire was lowered that particular day, and it hooked on my truck, caught on my truck, and I was able to get out from underneath of
Okay.
it.
So you're saying you agree that it was actually your truck that made this happen. You just think there was something wrong. It wasn't your fault.
Right. I'd been there so many times underneath that wire 35 times prior and never had an issue. And for some reason that day, it hooked my truck.
That wouldn't make it not be your.
So it gets worse after the truck hits the wire. It doesn't just snap. It leaves a live electrical line stretched across the property. That's not just damage. That's straight up dangerous. They had to call the power company immediately, and luckily, they showed up fast. This could have gone from a property dispute to a serious
fault. Right?
Okay.
If it was lower, then you should have seen that. It would have been markedly different situation. You know how tall your truck is? How tall is it?
It's 13 foot 0 inches.
So if you see something less than 13 foot, you know you got a problem, right?
It wasn't noticeable. I didn't even.
Why would you tell them you were going to cover it?
I didn't. I said I would help cover it up to half.
Okay. I'm going to give you a minute here, Mr. Camp, to make some sort of argument that I'm going to go for, but right now I'm not going for that.
Okay. That's what I said.
This wasn't,
I don't have.
You have a theory of why it may have not been your fault, but that's not really what I have in front of me. What I have in front of me is it was there, then your truck came, somebody watched it happen. You were even saying, oh, okay, don't worry, we'll take care of this. I got a guy. And you just don't like the number?
No, it's not the number so much. Is I don't think I'm responsible for maintaining their electrical system.
Well, you're responsible if you break their electrical system.
No, not the way I see it. I think they got to maintain it.
So I would make a judgment here in the amount of $1,860 as damages. What I also need to explain is that the Leonards paid certain money out of pocket to get us here today. They had to pay a filing fee and they had to pay to have you served. That was $83. They're also able to collect that $83 on top of the damages. So I just wanted you to know where that extra dollar amount comes from. Now, here's the important part, right? So I'm going to generate this order. It's going to get sent out to parties. Two things. One, for the Leonards. The court does not do collections. We do expect that the parties would be in contact with each other to satisfy judgment. And I can't imagine that you would want to appeal this judgment, but then this part is for you, Mr. Camps. If you disagree with what has happened here today, you do have a right to appeal my finding to General Civil. General Civil is back in front of the district court judges. To do that, to appeal this decision, you must do two things. One is you must ask for that within 7 days of today's date.
Now, this is where it gets awkward. The judge straight up calls him out. If you weren't responsible, then why did you offer to pay?
Ouch.
You can literally hear the defense fall apart in real time. The judge isn't buying the excuses, and at this point, it's clear this argument is going downhill fast.